Hi, welcome. So in this video, we are going to be looking at a very interesting thing in SQL called views. So imagine a situation where you have some data and you don't want certain colleagues to access certain columns, maybe for confidentiality or for security purposes. So with views, you can be able to reduce that data so that just certain columns are visible for specific people with specific rights. So you can use views to be able to just reduce that, and then so that when somebody accesses the view, which is most probably the reduced version of the big table, they will only see what you want them to see, and then they can continue to do their analysis and access the data without seeing every other column that you didn't want them to see, for example. So that's just view simplified. So let's go to the computer and see how to create views in SQL. So we are here, and remember we have this database. So we created this database in a previous video. So if you haven't looked at the previous video called create the database, just go back, look at it. There is a script that you just have to download, run it, and it's going to recreate this same database so that you're on the same page. So, and if you have been on MySQL like this before, you would have, maybe if you've been inquisitive, you would have seen, yes, you have tables here. These are the different tables. And when you click here, you have the different columns here. And then now, if you come here, you would see that you have something like views and then maybe stored procedures. So in this video, we are going to look at views, and then in the subsequent video, we'll look at stored procedures. But these are interesting things that you need to know, and then to see how they fit or help you in your analysis. So let's just look at how to create views, and in so doing, you will see how helpful they can be in your tool kit. So the first thing is to create a view, you just have to go to create view. So create, and then you go to view. So you need to give it a name. So the name of the view, for example, let's just say we have our data set here, which is the staff demographic, and then I'll just right click here and select it. So if we want to see maybe just the female staff here, and we just want to say, I don't want maybe more of about the female. Let's just say we want to filter out just the female staff, and then we probably maybe want to take out even their names, just so you don't really know who has this first name, this last name. We just want a report of maybe staff ID, age, and then just the female. So we want to give somebody to do the analysis of just the female. So let me just show you now how we can use the view to do that. So I'll just run it here. So you go to create view. Let's just call it, give it a name. You have to give it a name. Let's just say female staff. Staff. Then now we are going to get an as. Now you say, you call now your select statement now. So you say select. Let's just take staff ID. Staff ID. Then we say age too. So we just want the staff ID. We don't want the first name. We don't want the last name. We just want to give a report without the names, so that and just the codes. So somebody who will be doing the analysis will not know the names of the staff. So, and then we get from maybe staff demographic. So we get the staff demographic table, and then now we just want to filter out just where gender equals to female. So this is you can do so many things. You can even do limit, you can do order by, group by, whatever. But at the end of the day, you just want a smaller version of the report to be shared with the rest of the team, or even you want to just simplify the report for your own later on, you just be using it. Just this part of the report will be interesting for you. So now if you go to your table here and you click on refresh, you will notice that a view has been created here, and this new view now is what we call the female staff here. So your next thing now would be, okay, how do I call a view? So I'll just show you here. So if you want to call a view, you just say select. So it's now like a table. So you say select star or the columns you want from. Now you call it now the female staff. You see it's already appearing and it's a view and it's like a table on its own. So if you run it now, let's just run it and see what's inside. So we see exactly what we wanted. There is a staff ID, there is age, and there is gender. So you can now know that I can still select just staff ID. Now it's just like any other table that we've been dealing with. So, but then it's like a subset of the main table. So we can just say staff, maybe ID. Then we run it. We run it here. We just get just the staff ID. So now you've seen how a view can just help reduce your table size, even just to reduce your table size or hide a couple of columns. And then now this is what the view is, what now will be available for people to access and use, or yourself to access and use if you want to break down the reports to different views. So it's just like different angle of view of the report. You can think of it like that. So now the next thing now is you might just want to know if I run this again, I'll definitely get an error because the first thing is here. If I run this, it's table staff already exists. That's just the first thing there. So since this staff already exists, you can't create it again. So a simple trick or a simple function to do if you want to be able to recreate your views anytime you drop them, like we saw in when we're building the database, how you can drop if exists. So this was just making it flexible, is that you could add the or replace view here. So if I add the or replace, for example, here, so or replace view here, or it's even preferable to just say, okay, if I want a flexible view, then I have to just write it with the or replace here. So which means create or replace view. So you just need to add this line here, and let me close this one up here. So when you run this now, it always creates the view. So if you run it, no matter the number of times you run it, it's just going to recreate the view because of this thing you've added here, create or replace. So it's just to help you to be able to update without having this error, because if I just want to create and it exists already, I'm going to get an error. So that's just something you can add. And then now, of course, you can, or we don't want to keep this view. At least you've seen how view is created. So the next thing you do is just a drop view. So there's a drop view function just for views, and then you call the name of the view. So it already recognizes the view. So if you run this now, so it's like that. And if you come to your views, you see you don't have any more views in this table again because you've dropped it. Otherwise, you can create it again here, create or replace, and then you drop it here. So I hope you have been able to learn how to use views to either limit your data set to just get a subset of it, or hide out maybe certain columns just for confidentiality purpose or for security purposes. So see you next video. Wish you good data luck.